I have never in my life heard players bash fans so much, bash the very people they need.
It started with one soundbite on a podcast. Napheesa Collier looks straight into the camera and calls WNBA fans toxic. 24 hours later, highlight reels of Caitlin Clark draining logo threes are on every screen in America. Arenas are sold out from Atlanta to Seattle, and the same fans Collier scolded are chanting Clark's name like it's a playoff Game 7.
The WNBA and the players within this league are not ready to be treated like professional athletes.
So here's the million-dollar question. Did Collier just torch her own legacy while Clark accidentally became the league's unstoppable marketing machine? In the next few minutes, we're peeling back every layer of this controversy, and the truth may hit harder than any flagrant foul.
You guys have complained and complained about the lack of interest that this league has garnered. You guys complained about people not showing up to games. You complained about people not watching the games. You complained and said people are not supporting the women's sport.
Here you're watching from your front row seat to everything women's basketball. Smash that subscribe, ring the bell, and let's run the fast break. Picture this. Collier, a perennial all-star, sits down on the Touch More podcast with Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe. Cameras rolling, mics hot, and she drops it.
It is getting so toxic, I feel like, in our league with a lot of the fans going back and forth. Like, basketball and sports are supposed to be so unifying, and it is so toxic. Like, every game, just it's like hatred out there towards other players.
Instant replay on socials, millions of views. Comment sections, radioactive. But why did 5 lines about hatred feel like a direct shot at fans who finally filled WNBA arenas to the rafter?
For too long, have they been able to hide in their little bubble, sit by themselves in their own little safe space?
Because for the first time in league history, women's basketball isn't whisper-level entertainment. It's a roaring stadium tour led by one rookie named Caitlin Clark. Collier's words didn't drift into the ether. They boomeranged. And when they landed, the narrative wasn't protect players. It was, why bite the hand that just bought season tickets?
I've never seen a league bash their consumers, bashing fans and saying ridiculous nonsense.
Rewind to opening night of the season. Cable TV ratings triple, the resale market looks like a Super Bowl feed, and sold-out banners are slapped on arena doors hours before tip-off. All of that electricity traces back to one phenomenal player, Caitlin Clark. She's imported 3 things the WNBA has never possessed at this scale: distance shooter swagger, social media magnetism, and a willingness to turn every city into an event. The result is the Clark effect, a phenomenon so loud it drowns out complaints and transforms casual viewers into jersey-buying fanatics.
That now that the fandom, the conversation has finally arrived, they are so taken aback, they are calling it toxicity. Fans cheer, fans boo, and that's toxicity. Fans say good things, fans say bad things, and that's toxicity. Fans critique players, fans criticize how players play, and that's considered toxicity.
To understand why she has become unavoidable, just track how she processes pressure. When she hears boos on the road, she flashes a grin as if the crowd is chanting her name. When defenders hammer her with hard fouls, she pops back up and jogs to the free throw line without looking for the referee. When the post-game microphones shove praise in her direction, she redirects the spotlight to teammates and coaches. Each reaction piles equity into her brand. Fans read resilience, sponsors read reliability, viewers read entertainment. By the time she walks down the tunnel, the storyline has already reproduced itself on TikTok, SportsCenter, and in living rooms that did not care about the league 12 months ago.
And not just, like Angel and Caitlin, like that, they are the OGs where people will get so like polarizing with, but it's with everyone, and people are just so nasty on there. And it's like, we're playing a game. We are playing a game, and you are saying hateful things about players. Like, I don't know. That has been like really surprising. I feel like we're trending in a really bad spot with that.
Meanwhile, veterans like Napheesa Collier feel the air pressure change. For years, the W was a boutique show, talented, proud, but small enough that even all-stars could navigate arenas without security. Clark's arrival yanks the league onto a neon marquee. That shock is real, but it is not toxicity. It is the sound a sport makes when it finally reaches critical mass.
In the MLB, in the NFL, in the NBA, a player returns, they get booed, we move on.
In other words, Clark does not chase the spotlight, she conducts it. Anyone within 10 feet receives the same exposure, some as co-stars, others as cautionary tales. Which role Collier ultimately plays now depends less on her stat sheet and more on how she answers this new volume.
Who are y'all to say what who are y'all? Y'all haven't turned over a green dollar in the league yet. Y'all, the league's been in the red every year.
Narratives feel powerful, but numbers decide. Contracts, television windows, and the size of a marketing budget. Let us translate the data into plain English. On nights when the Indiana Fever travel, an average of 15,100 spectators file through the turnstiles, a figure that nearly doubles the league's pre-Clark road attendance record. Across June alone, ESPN and its digital partners mentioned Caitlin Clark 2,762 times, whereas Napheesa Collier appeared in 184 national segments. Clark's replica jersey has settled into the number 1 position at every licensed retailer, while Collier's currently floats around 18th. Since training camp, Clark's social media following has expanded by roughly 1.4 million users, compared with Collier's 42,000 new followers over the same span. A brand new expansion club, the Golden State Valkyries, has already sold more season ticket deposits than 8 existing franchises, largely because Bay Area buyers want a guaranteed seat when Clark's Fever visit. League-wide broadcasting deals have inserted opt-out clauses that hinge on, quote, star-driven viewership, and internal memos list Clark by name as the benchmark.
Every time Fee speaks, every time she just proves that not only her, but the players within the league are just so separated from reality, just so insulated from what real sports conversation is like, what real fandom actually is.
Add those lines together and the equation becomes impossible to ignore. Fan passion plus Clark's magnetism equals unprecedented revenue. That momentum is now the standard by which every WNBA story, good, bad, or controversial, will be graded. So when Collier describes the atmosphere as hatred, the paying customer hears something different. They hear the roar that accompanies growth. They hear the same decibel level that the NBA, NFL, and Premier League have embraced for decades. In that context, the league finally looks and sounds like Major League Entertainment, and the spreadsheet confirms it. The challenge for veterans is not whether they are talented enough to keep pace, it is whether they can harness this surge rather than recoil from it.
You guys said this is what you guys wanted, and it honestly shows the lack of media training that this league has.
Numbers do not play favorites. They reward whoever courts the audience most effectively. Right now, the arithmetic tilts toward Caitlin Clark, and unless someone rewrites the formula, it will stay that way. Here's the uncomfortable bit. WNBA vets never dealt with 24/7 ESPN Chiron drama. In the pre-Clark era, a spicy tweet could trend locally. Now, one sideline scuffle becomes a Sports Center A block. That whiplash is real. Collier's generation grinded through near-empty arenas, tallied all-star appearances, won titles, and still came home to limited coverage. They fought for respect, quietly.
You guys complain about fans booing a player. Boo! You called them nasty for that. It's ridiculous. We just watched a fan get kicked out of an arena for laughing.
Enter Clark, unleashing stadium-full passion overnight. To older stars, that spotlight can feel less like validation and more like an interrogation lamp. But newsflash, intensity and toxicity aren't synonyms. Booing Diana Taurasi after a dagger 3? That's rivalry. Throwing slurs or threats? That's toxicity. The majority of Clark-era noise is the former. Rowdy, sometimes ruthless, but absolutely normal in men's sports. Remember when Clark took that midair hip check that sent her to the floor? Social media exploded with, "Welcome to the pros, rookie, toughen up." Flip the script. Collier calls fans negative and instantly garners sympathy from certain circles calling for kinder arenas. See the paradox? The rookie must be steel, the vet can be fragile.
Look at your contemporaries first. Why don't you do that, Napheesa Collier? Why don't you do that? Why don't you talk to Kathy Engelberg about fixing the officials? A lot of this stuff happens because the officials don't get control of the games.
But Pro Hoops doesn't laminate participation trophies. LeBron got booed in Cleveland, KD got roasted in OKC, Angel Reese eats jeers at every free throw line, and guess what? They cash their checks, drop their buckets, move on. If the WNBA aims for equal billing, the players can't demand NBA-level pay, but YMCA-level gentleness.
Is Collier's career over?
No. She's 27, averages a double-double, and would start for any contender. But here's what could end. Her grip on the conversation. In 2024, fandom is currency. Whoever owns the narrative signs the bigger shoe deal, headlines the network promo, and yes, secures the primetime TV slot. Clark owns that economy right now. If Collier keeps branding the customer base toxic, sponsors will steer their dollars elsewhere. Reporters will quote hotter sound bites, and highlights will gravitate toward players who celebrate fan passion, not scold it.
Collier has two options. Flip the script. Issue a follow-up saying, let's keep the fire but dump the hate, see you courtside. That's leadership. Dig in. Keep calling out toxicity. Watch the comment sections grow sharper and risk becoming background noise in Clark's highlight montage. And here's the kicker. Embracing fans doesn't mean accepting abuse. It means separating passion from poison, condemning legitimate harassment while celebrating the roar of rivalry. Clark's already mastered that balance. Collier still can. The league is hungry for multiple superstars. Nobody's locking the door. But the clock is ticking.
So what do you think, Hardwood Nation? Is Collier a truth teller calling out real ugliness, or did she just fumble a golden opportunity to ride the biggest wave women's hoops has ever seen? Drop a fire emoji if you're here for the new age intensity. Spam 100 if you believe Clark's fearless swagger is exactly what the league needed. Smash that like, share this with a friend who still thinks the W can't sell tickets, and subscribe for more unfiltered breakdowns every week. We're signing out, but the debate just tipped off in the comments. See you there.